One. Right, on the phone, I should have Ben Dring. Hello, Ben.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, it worked first time. I'm very well, Ben. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Excellent. Thanks for coming on. Right, Ben, you write some rather amazing, very minimalistic electronic music. How do you go about creating this wonderful palette of sound that you do?
Well, so the tracks that I released on like Wait and Silence were essentially things where I came across a kind of a sound that I felt could probably be done without much sort of extra parts and so on, like that I could just add drums and vocals to, and then found a sort of lyrical passage I liked the sound of and sort of chucked it on there and just worked it up from there basically.
So you started with a drum beat, and you throw in a little harp or something, arpeggiation, and a little bit of random noise, and then you basically wrote the lyric after you'd written the music.
What I tend to do is write sort of lyrics as I go along, and then sort of look back and try and find something that'll fit once I come up with the tune and everything. So yeah, I basically sort of came up with the drums and synth parts and stuff, and then looked back at sort of things I saw as synth lyrics that could fit those ideas really.
Yeah, I get what you mean. So, you mean you do? I do like your approach. It does. It reminds me an awful lot of me back in the day. Very minimalistic, and that was mainly because I didn't have a lot of equipment. So when I listen to your stuff, it's not just because I listen to it because I really think it's great. There's a little bit of nostalgia in there. Do you know what I mean? And I do I do like a little bit of nostalgia from time to time. I managed to. I've put 3 tracks on a CD. You know, you sent me some more earlier on, but the laptop did a bit of a dicky fit. I've got "I Believe in the Dark," which is a track that we featured on, if memory serves, Only the Noise Will Save Us, Volume 3, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I've got "At Least It's Sunny Somewhere" and "Dance." Now, "At Least It's Sunny Somewhere" has got a lot more production in it than "I Believe in the Dark."
Yeah. So I worked with a producer, Elliot Truick, to basically kind of flesh out the ideas I'd already made, which was something I wanted to do at some stage, but he just kind of offered to do that for me at a couple of years ago now. And the truth is, we just never got round to doing "I Believe in the Dark." We did the other 3 Wait and Silence tracks, and then never finished that one. I actually mentioned this to him last week in the pub, and he just sort of laughed, and we said, we'll have to sort of get that finished at some stage. The instrumentation and everything is done. It literally just needs vocals put into it and mixing.
So that's like a remix of "I Believe in the Dark."
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be interesting. All right, interesting. You do, yeah. I've said this before. Whenever I first heard "Believe in the Dark," it reminded me very, very much of Fad Gadget. I'm going to assume that you know who Fad Gadget is.
I will be completely honest and say I do not.
You do not?
No.
Oh, my word. Right, you need to Spotify Fad Gadget.
Okay.
You need
I'll
to
get
do
that
that.
on the list.
You need to Spotify Fad Gadget, and I promise you, your mind will be blown into 1,000 pieces. Fad Gadget is absolutely amazing. His real name is Frank Tovey. Unfortunately, he died some time ago. And he was signed to Mute, and he was. Oh, mate, you need to listen to some Fad Gadget. You really do need to listen to some Fad Gadget. It's quite funny actually, because I know you're a bit of a Gary Newman fan. And he did Gary Newman went on tour with Ministry. And I can't remember the name of the band for the life of me, in America, not too long ago. And at the end of one of the nights, they did, like, all the bands, all the singers, the lead singers from each band, they sang "Ricky's Hand," by Fad Gadget, and it was quite a moment. It really was. It was quite a moment, and that song is just absolutely amazing, especially the Black and Decker drill. There you go. That's how mental Fad Gadget is, and that's what always got me about when I first heard I Believe in the Dark. It was reminded me of Fad Gadget, and I thought, oh, God, he's nailed that absolutely perfectly. But there, you've surprised me there.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because that's probably the track where I had Gary Newman sort of most in mind. And that's a comparison that I get more often than anything else. But I tend to find, I mean, I don't know, I guess I kind of would like to hear your thoughts on like how similar my music is to Gary Newman, because it feels like a lot of the people that say it or make the comparison wouldn't necessarily know an awful lot about him.
If I was to compare your music to Gary Newman, I would go right back to the very first album, The Plan. Because that, again, it's more guitar-led, but with synth in there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't have any guitars, it's just all synth. So for that, if I was going to make a comparison, I would go right back to the very first one, very first album, and like even and encroach a little bit Replicas into that as well. Because again, even though Replicas was heavily synthed, there was still an awful lot of guitars and stuff in there. But yeah, yes, I see where the people come from on that one, Ben. So are you going to get your act together and write an album?
I mean, hopefully. I have like a little whiteboard that I kind of plan things out with, and I've sort of got like 9 or 10 tracks written down with a little note next to it that says, "Is this an album?" But you know, I've got a lot of tracks to finish and a terrible attention span, so it really depends. I mean, part of me kind of wants to look at starting a new project kind of altogether, just to hopefully get the gears turning. But I mean, hopefully we'll get there at some point. But I mean, for right now, I'd be happy for like having another track in production.
Well, like I always say, any more than 4 tracks is an album. 4 tracks makes an EP. So, you know, you've got 4 tracks, release an EP. Any more than 4. Any more than 4, it's 4 to 6 is a mini album. So anything after 6, so like 6 to 8, that's an album. There you go. Bear that in mind. You don't have to have 16 tracks to make an album, even though that's what they generally want you to do these days. Bit of overkill. So yeah, you could always just release 2 EPs, 4 tracks each.
Well, it'll probably be a case of I'll probably hopefully get the I Believe in the Dark track done, release those 4 kind of Wait in Silence tracks that have been remade by LA as its own EP, and then take the single Coming Home that I released late last year and either maybe start building that towards another EP or start looking towards working on an album. But I'm not sure for definite at this point, really. Okay.
Well, I shall not hold my breath, but I shall wait with bated breath. It would be interesting to have a full album, because I would really enjoy that. I would really enjoy that. You have played live in the past. Have you got any plans of doing any future gigs, getting back out there?
Again, it's something that I would like to do, but I'd rather, you know, for the time being, I'd rather focus on trying to get more stuff recorded than trying to sort of drag a band together and then work out how to play all the stuff that LA came up with.
Just put it on tape.
It's something I'd definitely love to do, but I mean, possibly next year, maybe we'd look into it, but I definitely think I'd like to get some more stuff recorded first. Okay.
Well, good luck with all future endeavours, and I shall be keeping my eye on Facebook feeds and the inbox of my email when a new Ben Dring music track lands. So I'm going to play 3 tracks in a row now, Ben. How exciting! How exciting is this? 3 tracks in a row. I'm going to play I Believe in the Dark, At Least It's Sunny Somewhere, and then Dance. So the next roughly, 15 sort of minutes or so, it's all yours, Ben. So thanks for coming on, Ben. Oh, Ben, before we go, mate, I have to ask the all-important transmission biscuit question. Are you ready, Ben?
Oh, of course.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Right, Ben. You've got your mug of tea. You've got your tray of biscuits in front of you. You have the chocolate hobnob. You have the bourbon, and you have the custard cream. Which packet of biscuits do you choose?
Ooh, I'm probably going custard cream.
Custard cream. Bit of a traditionalist, Ben. Yeah? Bit of a traditionalist. Yep. I get that. You can't beat the custard cream from time to time. Actually, as I look across to my right, I have my hobnobs, obviously. There's a packet of, that haven't been opened, chocolate chunk cookies. There is a packet of Fox's Crunch creams and a packet of custard creams, all unopened.
Oh, well, if I'd realised you had such a well-stocked biscuit pantry, I might have been able to make the trip in.
Well, they're not my biscuits. So, I don't know, I'm a bit, I feel a bit cheeky opening them, do you know what I mean? Because they're not mine. But they were there last week as well, and it's like, well, you know, if I forget my hobnobs next Friday, and they're still there, they're getting opened. Right, Ben, thanks for joining us tonight on Transmission. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure, Ben, and I'm going to play, do you want to announce it, Ben? I'm playing I Believe in the Dark.
The next track is I Believe in the Dark.
By Ben Dring. Thanks a lot, Ben. Cheers, mate. Good night.
See you later.